Tonight, a sentence for wage theft. The court decision for the man charged in the Duchies Fresh Market saga. Starting summer with a sizzle.
There is a chance of breaking records on Sunday and Monday.
The heat wave we could see by the end of the weekend, and the rush.
There's a lot of service calls right now.
To be ready for it. More sign-up struggles.
I was so frustrated. I got no sleep Tuesday night because I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Another story about a child care booking system that's leaving families frustrated. Good evening. Today is the first official day of summer, and by the end of this weekend, it's sure going to feel like it. A heat wave is on the horizon for much of southern Ontario beginning Sunday. CTV's Alexandra Hollick joining us live from Victoria Park in Kitchener. Alexandra, how is it feeling as we head into this weekend?
Well, right now, Tony, it's feeling pretty comfortable out here. You know, lots of people out and about for a walk, enjoying the not so hot, not so cold weather, some taking a bite on the patio there. Now, it's definitely a much different scene as to what's going to be here on Sunday, a much hotter, sweatier, and stickier situation. It's the last day of school at St. Jude's in Kitchener, and students and staff are getting a head start on summer fun.
We're gonna celebrate the first day of summer.
From bouncy castles to water slides, kids are cooling down before temperatures heat up.
We are expecting a heat wave, which is going to start pronto on Sunday and last likely through Tuesday.
With highs expected to stretch into the 30s, feeling like the 40s with the humidity, meteorologist Rob Kuhn says there's a chance for records to be broken.
I think Sunday and Monday we do stand a chance of either meeting the current records or exceeding them.
Which means hot weather and sun safety should be top of mind.
Make sure you've got plenty of liquids ready to drink, to keep hydrated, and just try and keep your house cool, especially if you are sensitive to the heat.
Robert Johnston is trying to beat the heat by getting the AC fixed for his grandkids.
Anytime that temperature gets up there, you know, that can start affecting your sleep habits at night. And, you know, when the house is really warm, we have 2 dogs here. They get affected by the heat as well.
Abel Ayers says they've received dozens of calls for repairs and installations, the hot weather keeping service technicians busy.
There's a lot of no cool service calls, so people turn their air conditioners on, and the hot temperatures put a strain on the equipment, so things tend to fail, and sometimes you need a professional to come and take a look.
As for the rest of the summer, Kuhn says it's too soon to say whether this heat wave will set the tone for a scorching season.
We have had years when the only heat wave of the summer has been in June. So we, of course, we have all of July, August, and September left. This could be the only one, but it's far too early to tell.
In the meantime, he urges people to stay safe and have fun.
Excited!
For those looking to escape the heat, there are cooling centers located across Waterloo Region. That includes government buildings, community and rec centers, as well as libraries. There are also pools and splash pads open. For a full list of options, you can head to our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony?
Okay, Alexandra Hollick live at Victoria Park in Kitchener. Alexandra, thank you. And let's head outside onto our patio now with Alex Pinto and a first look at our forecast. And, well, as Alexandra was mentioning at Victoria Park, Alex, you know, really not that bad as we begin the weekend. Fairly comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, she said it. She kind of took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, as soon as I stood out here, it is quite comfortable. And that humidity we may have been feeling earlier in the afternoon has definitely gone down. We're actually getting a nice cool breeze moving across here, but cloud cover, that's what's still above. At one point to my left, I was like, is that sun peeking through? I don't know, not quite. So yeah, that cloud cover, as we look at our satellite and radar, expected to stick around. That chance of showers as well, also expected to stick with us as we get into the overnight hours and even into your Saturday. We're currently sitting at 22 degrees here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 23 in Mount Forest, slightly cooler in Goderich by the water, 20 degrees. And when we look at that humidex, at one point in the day, it actually felt closer to that 30 mark, but right now feeling closer to 26, 25 in Goderich, 26 it feels more like in Mount Forest. So overall, a pretty comfortable, slightly cooler Friday. Not a bad way overall to kick off summer. But yeah, the big talk about as we get into the weekend is going to be that multi-day heat events. We'll break it all down for you a little bit later, Tony.
Okay, Alex, we'll see you soon for those details. Thank you very much. Waterloo Regional Police are looking for someone who left a loaded gun under a vehicle in Cambridge. Police say it was discovered at around 8:45 last night near Wellington Street. Officers safely removed the gun. Police are asking anyone who witnessed suspicious activity around Wellington Street to contact them. We have an update tonight on one of the legal matters involving Elnaz Haj Tamiri, the Richmond Hill woman who was taken from a home in Wasaga Beach more than 3 years ago. 2 men charged in an attack on her that happened before her disappearance have been found guilty. One is her former boyfriend, who's also accused in her murder. CTV's Mike Arcelides now on these new developments and what's next.
A jury has found Mohammed Lilo guilty of aggravated assault in the December 20th, 2021 frying pan attack on his former girlfriend Elnaz Haj Tamiri, missing now for 1,255 days and presumed dead after police say she was kidnapped from a Wasaga Beach home where she'd gone into hiding with loved ones fearing for her safety. This week, a Barrie jury convicted Lilo of orchestrating the attack and failed kidnapping of his former girlfriend, who had dumped him months earlier. The court heard Lilo was obsessed with Haj Tamiri and wouldn't leave her alone. Eventually, he had her followed by several men paid to kidnap her. Awaiting trial for her murder, Lilo is the man police believe to be the architect behind the vicious attack on Haj Tamiri in her Richmond Hill parking garage during a failed abduction attempt and ultimately her kidnapping on the night of January 12, 2022 in Wasaga Beach. Over the course of the 5-week trial, the court heard Lilo hired Riasat Singh, who pleaded guilty to aggravated assault in late 2022, and this man, Harshdeep Binner, who Thursday afternoon, following a mistrial in March, pleaded guilty to assault with a weapon in the frying pan attack that sent Haj Tamiri to hospital. During Binner's plea, the court heard the agreed statement of facts read by the Crown, who said Lilo tracked Haj Tamiri using GPS and private investigators and hired people to assault Haj Tamiri, including Binner. The Crown said Binner spotted Haj Tamiri and ripped her from her car, hitting her repeatedly in the head with the frying pan, while Singh recorded the assault on his phone. Binner and Singh then took off when a passerby intervened, leaving behind DNA on several items, including a black balaclava and the stolen car they tried to torch following the attack. Binner was later picked up in Edmonton, charged with stealing Ford F-150 pickup trucks, while police had a Canada-wide warrant out for his arrest. Binner was sentenced to time served to be released from jail in Lindsay this week. Binner is 26 and spent 2.5 years behind bars. He came to Canada on a student visa, according to his lawyer, Uma Kancharla. Lilo has been in custody for 3 years and been denied bail twice. Lilo is scheduled to return to a virtual Barrie courtroom next week. The remaining allegations against him have not been tested in court. Mike Arcelides, CTV News, Barrie.
A teacher in Mississauga is facing charges following a police investigation into alleged child abuse. Peel Police launched an investigation into allegations involving a teacher with the Peel District School Board back in May. Police alleged that during this school year, a teacher physically moved 4 students into a room and forcibly confined them. The name of the school and the age of the students have not been released, but police say the incidents are alleged to have happened at a school in the area of Cawthra and Lakeshore. 36-year-old David Sabalski is charged with 4 counts of assault and 4 counts of forcible confinement. The school board says he is suspended pending the outcome of the court process. A new report is raising concerns about the quality of the air we breathe. It found some surprising pollutants present in cities. CTV's Sean Leathong has more.
Whether it's the typical pollutants you may know about or the ones less common, a new study from Environment and Climate Change Canada is taking a detailed approach to learning what is in our air for 2 reasons.
One is to understand all of the pollutants that we're exposed to in cities, and the other is how that mixture varies from one location to another in the city.
Elizabeth Gallonneau is a research scientist and one of the study's authors. She says pollutants like exhaust from vehicles are present, But the study also found another type of pollution around roadways.
Microplastics near a highway site, near Highway 401, we were having very elevated levels of plastics there that we think are coming from tire wear.
So when the rubber meets the road, microplastics are released into the air. And the study finds that the quality of air really depends on where you are in the city.
Especially the sort of difference between being near a road and away from a road, not too far away, or the difference even between a park like High Park versus the green space at the University of Toronto Scarborough, where the levels were quite a bit lower.
While the typical smoggy days of summer may seem like a jumping off point, this study started by focusing on the Air Quality Health Index, or AQHI, in a 6-week period over the winter from January to March of this year.
There were days that had moderate and even high risk AQHI values, and that's not as expected in the winter as it is in the summer.
And they're focusing on even the slightest pollutants in the hopes of understanding how they interact with the environment around them.
Like personal care products, the things we use in our shampoos, our soaps, or to clean our homes.
This is just the first bit of information as the study will continue. The potential is to help us understand our relationship to our environment and to plan in the future. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Next, an update tonight on a story we've been following extensively. There's now a sentence in a case involving wage theft. Over the last couple of years, we've been reporting on the claims by workers at Duchies Fresh Market and the charges that were filed. Today, the corporation and its business director were sentenced for multiple violations of the Employment Standards Act. And the Justice of the Peace had some strong words about the impact it's all had on the workers involved. CTV's Heather Senerin joining us now live with these late-breaking developments. Heather.
Tony, Duchies as a corporation and its business director, Michael Rankema, have been sentenced to pay some steep fines, with the Justice of the Peace agreeing to give him more time to do so. After numerous allegations of unpaid wages, protests, and orders to pay, Duchies Fresh Market Limited and its business director, Mike Rankema, have now been sentenced to pay fines. It was a joint submission both the Crown Counsel and the defendant's lawyer agreed on, and in the end, the Justice of the Peace agreed as well. Duchies Fresh Market Limited must pay $25,000 and its business director, Mike Rankema, must pay $7,500. Both do not have to pay any additional victim fine surcharges. 2 victim impact statements were read, and when it came to the Justice of the Peace's decision, he said people lost wages that they needed to pay bills in their life, put food on the table. They were deprived of their livelihood, simply put, and I must ensure that Mr. Rankema and the corporation never again put themselves in the position of depriving employees of their wages. During the court appearance, the lawyer for Duchies and Rankema said that the small family grocer that once had multiple locations now only has one with 13 employees. His lawyer also claimed there were issues with the company's refrigeration vendor in 2021, saying the company faced significant financial losses in the millions of dollars and incurred significant debt. The defendants deeply regret that when faced with this sudden loss of financial resources and mounting debt, employees were not paid their wages. The defendants acknowledge and take responsibility for this failure to pay wages, and when faced with this prosecution, did enter a guilty plea. Rankema's lawyers said they have been working diligently over the last few years to rebuild the business and repay all their debts, adding that they paid off all employee wages that were the subject of this prosecution, and more than $10,000 in fees to the Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Finance. His lawyer asked for 20 months to pay the fines. The Justice of the Peace agreed to give him that time. Just moments ago, Mike Rankema sent a statement to CTV News. He said, "We are deeply sorry for the lengthy process and burden this has been for all involved, especially the employees. Though the Gateway location sustained losses in the millions, primarily due to poor workmanship of the refrigeration contractor, we understand we have our obligation to our employees and our suppliers. It is our goal to continue to honor these obligations. We do thank customers who have supported us in honoring this goal. We will do better as we rebuild." Tony.
And again, that statement from Rankema. Heather, thank you very much. CTV's Heather Senerin with these developments on the Duchies case. Turning now to the conflict between Israel and Iran, there were tense talks today between European and Iranian officials, as U.S. President Donald Trump said he could make a decision anytime in the next 2 weeks over U.S. military action in Iran. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the talks and the attacks from both sides.
Sirens sound over Jerusalem as Iran and Israel trade fresh attacks for the 8th consecutive day, as diplomatic efforts to contain the conflict took place in Geneva.
Mr. Minister, how are you, sir?
Iran's foreign minister met with top diplomats from Britain, France, and Germany today, a meeting that ended with no signs of a breakthrough. Asked about it, U.S. President Donald Trump said it will be the Americans, not the Europeans, that solve this conflict, though he seemed to reject Iran's demand for Israel to halt its airstrikes in order for talks to resume.
I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing.
Trump says he will decide within the next 2 weeks whether the United States will join this conflict and provide Israel with the bunker-busting bomb it needs to hit Iran's nuclear site Fordo, which is buried deep in a mountain.
If they launch that bunker buster, now we got United States, in a war with Israel, fighting against a power that called Iran that wants to have a nuclear capability. It could then potentially draw in Russia. It could, raise the dander of China. So, this would change the political calculus tremendously, and I don't think anybody wants that to happen.
Global Affairs Canada says it's organizing flights in neighboring countries, urging Canadians in Israel and Iran to head to Jordan, Turkey, and Armenia.
Hi, Hossein.
Hossein Hodabash is among the many trying to leave Iran. He's not Canadian, but has lived in Toronto since 2019 and has a valid work permit. He was in Iran to visit his sick mum, but when he tried to leave, he discovered his temporary resident visa is expired, and he can't get back into Canada until a new one arrives.
When the war happened, it was like just a nightmare. I don't know about the future. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Airspace above both Israel and Iran is closed, and while Canada has an embassy in Israel, it has had no diplomatic ties with Iran since 2012, further complicating efforts to get Canadians out of the country. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
And a reminder to sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter. The best local content from our news team sent right to your email first thing in the morning. Each day we've got a look at the day's top stories. We've got the latest forecast and some must-see videos. You can sign up over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Well, another parent is expressing frustration after trying to sign up for extended school childcare. CTV's Spencer Turcotte will tell us about the unexpected twist this family says it took in a year where officials have been trying to smooth out the sign-up system.
Well, welcoming the first official day of summer with a bit of cloud cover and a little bit of a breezy start as well. We'll break down just how hot it could get this weekend a little bit later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Another story about some chaos tonight in trying to register children for before and after school care in Waterloo Region. CTV's Spencer Turcotte hears from one family who's run into quite a unique challenge.
Playing in the sandbox together, something Cheryl Hosfeld may not be doing as often when her daughter begins junior kindergarten in the fall. The mother of two from Kitchener planned to put both her kids in before and after school care with the Catholic Board. Her window to register opened on Tuesday.
I was on my computer at 7 o'clock.
The Catholic Board is doing a staggered approach this year, with schools having assigned days for families to sign up. It comes after the system used to register, One List, was plagued with problems last year. Hosfeld felt the effects. Her son wound up on the wait list, eventually only getting extended care for part of the week.
In order to avoid having a similar situation happen this year, we wanted to stagger it alphabetically.
Hosfeld thought her luck would be better this time around.
I got my daughter in. That was fine. But when I got the email from my son, it said he had got switched to a different school. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
She doesn't know how this happened, and it puts her in a bind because she's been looking for work, and this may bring the job hunt to a halt.
I was so frustrated. I got no sleep Tuesday night because I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Do I find a job? Do I stay at home?
A statement to CTV News from the company which operates the One List system says it has remained stable throughout, and the staggered school-by-school approach has helped to ensure a smooth experience for families. Minor issues were addressed quickly with no impact on families family's ability to register. Hosfeld is still confused as to how her son and daughter, who will attend the same school, ended up registered in 2 different extended care programs. Days later, the situation hasn't been fixed, and she says this is more than a minor glitch.
Like, he's not even actually enrolled. Like, he would be put on a wait list.
CTV News has heard from several parents at the Waterloo Region District School Board who also experienced technical errors when trying to sign up, many saying they've also been waitlisted. Both school boards say they'll have a better idea of how many children are on the wait list in the coming days. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
A new mural by an Indigenous artist was unveiled today at the University of Waterloo's Dana Porter Library. Officials say the artwork is part of the library's decolonization efforts. The artist grew up in the region of Waterloo and says it's important to have this kind of artwork available for the public to see, and that the animals mixed with people in the mural represent a connection to the land and the teachings that come from it.
Us as Indigenous people and our connection to the land and how our culture is deeply rooted into that. And I think it's really great to have this artwork up here in public. I think that Indigenous representation really matters, and whether it's you know, non-Indigenous people coming through here and just wondering what it's all about, or Indigenous people who you know, would find it very meaningful to feel represented in spaces like this.
And Kennedy says the artwork took about 2 to 3 months to complete. Okay, back live outside now for another live look. We can't do that, I'm being told. So instead, we're going to tell you this. It's going to be a great weekend to get out in our nature. We'll continue our series exploring some of our area's natural treasures at Trillium Trail in Kitchener. And water on the water, beer on the pier, the zero tolerance enforcement approach to booze on the boat this summer. Back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Alex is back with our full forecast. We were just saying TGIF.
TGIF. Thank goodness it is Friday.
And it's the first day of summer. I thought it was this weekend, but it's actually today. It always confuses me. Sometimes it's the 20th, sometimes it's the 21st or 22nd. But we had a nice dose of sun to kind of start the day today before those clouds moved in to say, we're not done with you yet.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, beautiful. I had a great walk with the dog this morning.
Very nice.
So nice. If only it could have stayed like that for the rest of the day. But no, you know what? I've got to say, though, being outside even just a few moments ago, it's still quite comfortable.
It is.
A little bit of a breeze. It's not too bad because, yeah, when we look ahead to one point this weekend, getting into next week, it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. We're going to be wishing for a little bit of relief.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm going on, we'll get a live look outside now, but you're lucky I'm going on vacation midweek next week, Alex, because I have a habit of whining about humidity and heat when it gets too high.
Me too. I'm like, I love heat, and then once it's actually too humid, it's a little bit too much. But yeah, here's a live look from Victoria Park in Kitchener. Seeing that cloud cover there as well, and some of the breeze, but it's still comfortable to sit outside, maybe enjoy some dinner on a patio this evening. But the big talk about for this weekend is going to be this heat event that we're going to see starting Sunday right through to Tuesday, it's expected. So a couple of notes. Definitely you want to stay hydrated, drink as much water as you can. You want to avoid the sun directly, so staying in the shade or inside where there's some air conditioning, ideal. And when it comes to outdoor activities, early morning or evening hours, that's going to be your best friend as we get into Sunday, into the start of next week. And of course as well, if you have pets or people with you, don't leave them in cars. It's going to be quite hot. It's going to be quite humid. I do want to make a note. If you are heading towards the Windsor area, Sarnia, Chatham, Kent, there is a heat warning currently in place. So very hot conditions. That's actually going to start tomorrow into next week. Daytime highs around 31 to 36. But with that humidex, it's going to feel closer to 40 to 45. So just a note there. Currently, we are sitting at 22 here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 21 in London, a little bit cooler in Goderich, 19 degrees. But with the humidex, again, not too humid right now. Feels more like 27 out there. But I have to say, with that breeze, it is quite comfortable. So we are seeing that cloud cover here for our Friday evening. And even as we get into the overnight hours, a chance for those showers going to be sticking with us. And Mount Forest especially. Then here in Kitchener around 6 a.m. Saturday, that's when we could potentially see some more active weather rolling in. There is a chance as well for a thunderstorm. And you can see here, 12 o'clock on Saturday, if you have plans to maybe do some gardening or mowing the lawn, you might want to avoid this time. Once we get through the afternoon, though, the good news, the clouds should break, and hopefully we will see a little bit more sunshine as we get into our Sunday. But with that comes the heat. Expected high for today, 25 degrees, around normal for this time of year. Record high, 32.2. That was recorded in 1988. Record low, just shy of 4 degrees in 2004. The sun now setting at 9:06, which is pretty nice to see. Overnight, that 60% chance of showers with a risk of a thunderstorm. Similar conditions again as we saw getting into tomorrow. High of 28. With that chance of showers sticking with us and risk of a thunderstorm. Looking at our 7-day forecast, so sunny sky for your Sunday. That's when we're going to start to see the 30s. 33 degrees expected, 34 for your Monday, and then Tuesday 33. But again, with that humidex, could feel closer to 40 or so. Lambton, Kenton, Essex, also expected to see some sunshine. I know, it's going to be a hot one.
I couldn't help but chime in there, sorry.
I know, 35 degrees for your Sunday. Monday, 36. Again, it's going to feel a lot hotter than that. And for southern Georgian Bay, yeah, similar conditions. Maybe you want to be by the water or have a friend who has a pool or two.
Or in the water, in the lake.
In the water, in the lake. We definitely might need it. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. And again, you want to stay hydrated and keep an eye on those conditions. Well, here is today's Weather Watcher picture. Wendy Miller sending us this photo saying summer must be here because peonies are blooming. Ooh. Beautiful shot. Beautiful pink peonies in our garden in Waterloo. Yes, definitely a sure sign of the season that summer is upon us. I just love peonies. Thank you so much for sending this.
They're
a
gorgeous.
Beautiful, beautiful shot. Thank you for being today's Weather Watcher.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. And speaking of water, have you guys been in the lake yet this year? I'm curious.
I have not.
You've not?
My husband Matthew has.
Okay.
He said it was cold.
Matt took the plunge. Okay.
He took the plunge. I have not. It was just at Conestoga Lake, so a little bit chilly from when he tested the waters out, but maybe I'll try this weekend.
I'll bet you next week it's going to feel great.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what lake you jump into.
We need a little bit of that warm up.
Absolutely, we do. Well, guess what? We're continuing our series tonight on nature trails and outdoor adventures. Today, we take you to Trillium Trail in Kitchener. As the name suggests, you'll see the provincial flower, but also much more.
Yeah, there's a soft wood chip surface for easy walking and towering trees for lots of shade on these upcoming hot days. Take a look.
Today we're at Trillium Trail, which is a lovely walking path that connects to the Williamsburg Cemetery. It's a really tranquil, nice spot that offers a wood chip trail to walk along. The wood chip trail gives a better sort of nature connection rather than walking on a paved surface. So it's a more natural feel to the walk. So I can see around us are Norway spruce. Likely that comes from an old plantation. There's also mature red oak, and I can also see that there's some regeneration of smaller trees and large shrubs like staghorn sumac. There's a lot of wildlife surrounding us. In particular, we have species such as pileated woodpecker, eastern wood pewee, pine warbler, and other species that are using the trail and the adjacent woodland. Well, along the trail are some historic farm artifacts, and these were donated to the city by Arthur Hewitt. As the name suggests, there's an abundance of trillium. Right now they're done blooming, but you can still see the old blooms there. And this would be the white trillium. It's very calming in here, especially on like this light breezy day. We're getting shade. We're getting really nice sounds of the forest. It's very peaceful here, and we haven't seen many people as well, so I would call this like a hidden gem.
Absolutely beautiful. Another wonderful installment from our production coordinator, Johnny Matza there. Well, with the arrival of summer, many people are getting eager to hit the water in a boat. And that has police issuing a reminder that impaired boating is impaired driving, and it's a crime. CTV's Luke Samard now on how they're getting the message out.
The first official day of summer means boating season is well underway. York Regional Police and Mothers Against Drunk Driving are doing their part in reminding the public to not drink and drive, especially on the water.
It's really important to raise awareness. Being impaired by drugs or alcohol and operating a vehicle, whether it's a boat or a car, is still pretty catastrophic when there are crashes.
YRP and MAD have once again partnered up and have put signs on bridges to remind boaters to not drive impaired.
The sign that's over the bridge or under the bridge reminds boaters to do two things. One, call 911 if they suspect that there's an impaired boater, and as well to remind boaters not to consume alcohol or drugs prior to getting into a boat or while they're operating a boat.
Just because you are on a boat does not mean you should be driving impaired.
People think that they're on a boat, so the laws really don't apply to them. It's still the same. You still are impaired, whether it's drug or alcohol. It can be actually more dangerous to do that because you're on a body of water.
Adding impaired driving does not impact just one person.
It's their mother, their sister's friend, their best friend, their dad's friend. Like, it's a trickle effect.
And police are reminding all boaters to be proactive when it comes to safety on the water.
Wear an approved life jacket, have the right safety equipment on. Tell people when you're out on the water, tell somebody where you're going and when you're going to be back.
Officers will be patrolling Lake Simcoe, cracking down on boaters under the influence. On a boat, the same rules apply as if on the road. If you boat impaired, you will face the same serious charges as impaired driving. Luke Simard, CTV News, Georgina.
The popularity of pickleball is creating a need for more space to play it. And a deal is in the works to turn this Cambridge building into a player's paradise. CTV's Karis Mapp has that story next. The Cambridge building that formerly housed Peavey Mart will be getting a new tenant in the next few months. It's going to be an indoor pickleball facility. CTV's Karis Mapp on why this is being seen as a perfect match.
Sitting as a vacant lot since the closure of Peavey Mart earlier this year, a new company is planning to call this Cambridge building home. Pickleplex Social Club bringing its state-of-the-art indoor pickleball facility to Galt. Hosting lessons and tournaments, the company focuses on the quickly growing sport, but pairs it with a social element.
The way that we built every site and location is to have a social area for a common place for people to sit, lounge, sit on bar stools, watch their friends play.
A concept that Forefathers Brewing is also highlighting. The Cambridge Brewery launched its Pickleball Society just over a year ago.
Pickleball is such an accessible sport. People of all ages and skill levels can pick up a paddle, start having fun immediately. It's the social outlet. So people become friends, they stay active, and they feel more connected to the community by doing that.
A popular sport that's only growing. And for the quickly expanding Pickleplex, the Cambridge location was a result of all the right ingredients coming together.
It's not easy to find a big, 20 to 30,000 square foot building with ample high ceilings, column spacing that makes sense for pickleball. And this one, as soon as we saw it, screamed to us.
The property's real estate agent agrees it was the perfect fit.
A lot of the natural tenants that would go into that location are already in that node, which made it a little more complicated. There were some other challenges with the building, so something like Pickleplex really was a good fit for the building.
Peavey Mart closed in January due to ongoing financial struggles, a familiar tale for many big box stores. With these large retailers struggling, recreational companies are trying to seize the opportunity.
Landlords aren't fully on board with all these recreational users just yet. I think there's still a little hesitation. They'd rather see a Sobeys grocery store or a Winners or a Sport Check or something where they have that longevity. They've been around for a while and they're going to be there for the future. But they are definitely becoming more flexible with these uses.
We're using the space now for something that was maybe tough to fill in retail, the way retail is going, and utilizing it for something an active, healthy lifestyle.
Pickleplex is set to open 5 additional locations this year, with the Cambridge one expected to open its doors this fall. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Cambridge.
Many Canadians are changing their summer vacation plans and staying north of the border, given the tensions between Canada and the U.S. on the trade front. And there are efforts to make travel close to home easier and more affordable. Here's CTV's Dylan Dyson.
Camping across eastern Ontario. That's the plan this summer for Laura Ginden and her family.
We like to go up to Picton. Quinty Isle is a nice campground. Barry's Bay. We kind of just travel all over Ontario.
A staycation of sorts, choosing to change their summer plans and avoid traveling to the United States.
We thought about it. We were thinking about maybe Lake George, but with everything going on, we decided against.
It's for that reason that Splash Valley in Cobden is a hot destination as summer officially arrives.
I've had some feedback from people that have booked and said they normally travel and they're not going to. This year they're going to stay local, so I believe we've seen an increase in the bookings.
Tourist attractions across Ottawa and the Valley catering to families this summer who are looking to stay local and see their dollar go further. Ottawa Tourism unveiling the Ottawa Pass, giving access to 5 local attractions for $100.
In the current economy, people are also looking to get the best value for their buck. And that's what we're trying to target, give people an affordable but fun and vibrant vacation in Ottawa.
At the Whitewater Inn in Beachburg, they say at under $200 a night, they can beat the price of major hotels, creating a more affordable getaway.
Going out of town, like the shock value is a little holy. So you get a lot more value for your dollar coming here, and then you have extra budget to spend on other things like, renting bikes, going rafting, going riverboarding, golf.
Ginden finding good value this summer in what the local region has to offer.
The campgrounds are pretty reasonable. They've gone up over the years, but I would say it's good value around here.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Cobden.
Beautiful part of Ontario. But let's turn now to a look at our top stories. CTV's Colton Wiens joining us live in studio with the latest. Colton, we learned about the court decision today for the man charged in the Duchies Fresh Market saga.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. Duchies Fresh Market Limited and its business director being hit with some heavy fines. Duchies must pay $25,000 and its business director, Mike Rankema, must pay $7,500 after multiple violations of the Employment Standards Act. Plus, it's the first official day of summer and a heat wave is on the horizon. Lots of people enjoying the sunshine today, but Environment Canada says we could see some record high temperatures by Sunday and a hotter than normal summer is expected.
We are ready for it. And online, Colton, we have a story tonight about an arrest that was made in a fatal hit and run.
Yes, that's right, Tony. Police have arrested a man wanted for a fatal hit and run collision in Hanover. It's after a 66-year-old woman died after she was hit by a vehicle on June 11th. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Colton Wiens, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, former Raptors coach Nick Nurse was back in Toronto today, but it had nothing to do with basketball.
Congratulations, Dr. Nurse.
Nurse was given an honorary degree today from York University during the school's convocation. Nurse has a history with York U, as his foundation has funded music programs there for the last 4 years. The longtime Raptors coach was head coach during the team's only NBA championship win in 2019. He told the grads today they always have to be prepared for what comes their way.
I got that job in 2018-19 for the Raptors, and I was ready for it because of all the thousands of games I coached, and I tried everything, and I kept the stuff that worked. I crumpled up the stuff that didn't. I polished the stuff that worked. And the point is, someday that opportunity is going to come to you and something you're really dreaming about or passionate about, but you want to be ready for it.
Well, next, our W5 investigation surrounding the car theft epidemic continues with another angle that's costing all of us. John Woodward with a look at bogus insurance claims that are driving up premiums. A W5 investigation is revealing what could be a much bigger payday for car thieves. Not just the stolen cars, but bogus insurance claims. And as John Woodward tells us, it's driving up premiums.
This Ferrari was insured as a $1 million car, a top-end 599 GTO.
At least that's what the owner claimed it was.
But that's not what it is.
That's not what it is.
Enter Stefan Nasner, an investigator with Aviva Insurance's fraud unit. And slowly, that car's image falls apart. The dashboard in disrepair. The display lights up with a different model number. And under the hood, the engine bears the mark of a different Ferrari.
You can clearly see this is a 599 GTB.
Not GTO.
Not GTO. Okay. And a GTB is a lot less valuable than a GTO.
Disguised, Nasner believes, as part of an elaborate insurance fraud. And this isn't the first time he's seen this car. Aviva has already paid out a claim on this Ferrari once before.
So you guys could have lost twice.
We could have lost twice. And had we paid out on what it was registered for, it would have been over $1 million.
Over $1 million of money that would have gone to possibly organized criminals.
Correct.
An audacious example of how car thieves attempt to turn the value of one stolen car into many insurance payouts, multiplying the value of what they stole. Key to this disguise is spoofing the unique vehicle identification number, or VIN, on the car. In this case, the thieves appear to have lifted the fake vehicle identification number from this real Ferrari GTO on sale across the border in Detroit. A number that, according to its Carfax service records, also appears on cars serviced in Montana and Texas, suggesting there are many more disguised vehicles using this VIN.
It's being serviced all over the place. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because a vehicle can't be in multiple places at once. If it is, it's probably a scam. And those vehicle identification numbers are fakes. Tracking those VINs is now a huge part of Aviva's fraud detection program, says Mike Cardillo, Aviva's manager of national investigations.
So we're talking millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
VIN fraud up 300% in the last few years, according to his numbers. Selling stolen cars locally has become more important for thieves, he says, as a government crackdown has made it harder to sell them overseas.
There we go.
One major challenge, somehow many fake numbers are legitimately registered with provincial government agencies anyway.
We need to make sure that we're doing our due diligence when a vehicle is being registered, close those loopholes in the ministry to make sure that some of these false VINs aren't being registered.
Solving that problem, a crucial part of stopping that VIN from disguising yet another stolen car, though most aren't as flashy as this Ferrari.
John Woodward with that investigative series. Okay, let's check in with Alex over at the Weather Wall.
Well, cloud cover for your Friday night. We'll take a look at how your morning is looking in Wake Up Weather coming up. Lots of entertainment for your Friday night at 7 o'clock. Join us for E-Talk, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Then at 8, it's Celebrity Jeopardy, and then Fear Thy Neighbor.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
Okay, we're going to check in with Colton Weens one more time to find out what we're watching for 11:30 tonight. Colton.
Well, Tony, a little bit of fun happening in inter-county baseball league action tonight. The Kitchener Panthers are in Hamilton, but over in London, the Majors have donned a new name for their matchup with Welland. London changing its name to the Forest City Cobra Chickens for the evening. It started as an April Fool's joke as a tongue-in-cheek reference to Canada's famously feisty geese, and they've sold out of special merchandise for tonight. Tony.
Oh, I will bet they have. I can't wait to see what the Cobra Chicken merchandise looks like. Did you have a preview of it, Colton?
They're pretty cool. I'm pretty upset that I couldn't buy any.
Well, if that is not a tease for later, I don't know what is. Colton, have a good weekend.
You as well.
Appreciate that. Okay, Alex, and teasing our weather for the weekend, a little more cloud than we had first anticipated rolling in.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for right now, too, that cloud cover is still with us. Feels a little bit cooler. Pretty comfortable, though, for a Friday night. But yeah, we could see a little bit of not mixing conditions. I'm like, we're not in winter yet.
Wow.
Wet weather.
Don't remind us of that.
But when we get into the morning, things are looking a little bit better. There was actually expected to have a bit more rain, but it looks like that's actually going to be clearing out. So chance of showers by 6 a.m., 17 degrees. Then by 10, sun and cloud with 23. But again, chance for a bit of active weather early in the afternoon with that risk of a thunderstorm, but then that should clear out.
Just enough to keep us all on our toes tomorrow
Always.
as we try and plan some outdoor activities. But that's June, and that's this time of year.
Yes.
Well, a mural in Elora that was taken down years ago has been recreated. The letter was unveiled again today outside the Elora Post Office by the Elora Fergus Arts Council and the Wellington County Historical Society. It was designed by artist Marilyn Coop, and it's divided into 3 sections: the story of writing, mailing, and reading a letter.
It was first installed in 1999, but it weathered over time and couldn't be preserved. Thanks to a community-led project, it's been recreated using durable, weather-resistant materials.
Okay, and finally, believe it or not, 50 years ago today that the world was introduced to an iconic shark, leaving people wondering whether it was safe to get in the water.
She's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
The legendary film Jaws premiered in theaters June 20th, 1975. Over time, it became known as one of the first summer blockbusters, bringing in $260 million and putting Steven Spielberg right on the map.
Absolutely. Oh, yes. And as we get to our credits, I just want to ask you, have you ever seen Jaws?
Yes, I have.
So have I.
Yeah.
And every time I go back and fittingly enough, we're showing water here.
Of course.
Little more of a
Don't know what's under there.
a little serene scene though. But no, I was going to say every time I go back and watch that movie, I am truly terrified over and over again.
Yes, that's why I didn't like to go into pools or water as a kid.
But it had Spielberg's, creativity handprint all over it, and we know he went on to make some incredible movies. Well,
love to see that.
Enjoy your dip in the water this summer. It's very appropriate. We're talking about Jaws on the first day of summer. But have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here tonight at 11:30. Good night.
Take care.